In today's video, I am finding some high-end decor pieces online that I love but I wouldn't want to pay that price for, and recreating them using some Dollar Tree supplies and DIYs and hacks and making them kind of have the same aesthetic without spending that much money. So creating them for a lot cheaper while getting the same luxurious look for a fraction of the price. Please hit the thumbs up button and let's go ahead and get on into it. Alright, so for the first one, I found this on Anthropologie's website. It is $54 for this tulip candle holder, and if you've been shopping at the Dollar Tree, you knew what I was going to grab to recreate these. They have these little golden candlesticks with the leaves on them, just like in the photo, but obviously we don't want to spend $55 or $54 to hold a candle whenever we can create that for just a couple of bucks. So I am starting with these little candlesticks, and then I'm using some Crayola air dry clay. Now, I found these at Dollar Tree, but if you cannot, you can purchase this at Walmart. So I ended up using 2 packages, 1 package per each candlestick holder. So the first thing I do is go ahead, I'm just using a hot glue stick, or you could use a rolling pin, but try to flatten this a little bit and then just start cutting out the shape. Now I knew I wanted to wrap this around the top and make it look like the tall tulip that was on the top of this, but I knew it was going to be kind of difficult, but it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I ended up kind of cutting the tulip shape on the top, even though I end up rounding them down in a minute, and then folding this over. Now, if I would have knew to do this in the beginning, I would have went ahead and cut that like in half. It was too big and I folded it over, so I had to keep like pushing it towards the back, which is completely fine. It still looked really good from the front, but for the second one, you can see that I do take out a lot of the length and it makes it go on so much nicer. So I end up cutting some out of the back and then, like I mentioned, rounding those little tips over to give it more of the flower look that I'm going for. And then you're pretty much just letting this dry, and then you can pop whatever taper candle down in here, but it creates like the same aesthetic, looks really fun, and just adds so much more to these plain candlesticks. Now you could get these as smooth as you wanted to. I wasn't really worried about it. I kind of like the handcrafted look of them. And also remember that you could paint these any color that you like or leave them as is. But these were really fun to put together. I always jump at a chance to use some air dry clay. It's really fun to work with. And you can tell that I'm not even trying to be perfect. You don't have to worry about these or overthink it. Just wrap it around and just kind of cover up the bottom and round off the top, and just turned out really cute. Another really fun find was this clover vase. Now, I know 4-leaf clovers are really special in my home. I always felt like I could find them all the time as a kid, and it kind of became my thing. Even as I got older, I still find a bunch of them, and my daughters love looking for 4-leaf clovers. So it's just something really fun that we don't even always put with St. Patrick's Day. If I see something 4-leaf clover, I just like it and I want to decorate my home with it. So this vase was really expensive, but I knew that you could definitely order dried 4-leaf clovers off of Amazon. I don't even think they're 4-leaf clovers on the original photo. I think they're just clovers, but these you can order on Amazon. I'll link some down below, but I just used some clear school glue and applied them directly to a vase. This vase was actually just given to me, so it's really fun that I get to upcycle it and keep using it, and I love it even more. But I think it turned out so beautiful, really precious, and something that I'm going to get to use over and over. As I was creating these fun high-end DIYs, it just got me to thinking about how often we overlook the little details of our homes that can really elevate our spaces, like how your house smells, which is just as important to me, if not more important, than how you've decorated or how your house looks. Today I want to thank Drift for sponsoring this video. Drift creates air care products that are, get this, non-toxic. I know we all struggle with candles and fragrances because so many of them are really bad for you, but non-toxic, using only premium essential oil and fragrance oil, free of harmful chemicals. I have tried really hard this past year to ditch all of the toxic things in my home, something I'm still working on. Drift is a monthly subscription where at first you get the starter kit and then you can receive refills after just to plug it in. I received the teak scent, which reminds me just being a kid going shopping with my grandma in like higher end stores. So it's just a really fun scent. I love how scents can bring back memories for you. But it's very easy to use. You just pop off the magnetic cover, remove the plastic lid from the refill, and just pop it into the fragrance. The minimal sleek design fits into any decor style, and they offer scent of the month for limited edition scents inspired by the seasons. Drift also offers a subscription for your car. It smells so good. Make sure to use the coupon code CRAFTS with a K at drift.co or by scanning the QR code on the screen to receive 55% off, making it less than $5 for your first month. Be sure to go check out all the information down below this video in the description box. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get back into crafting. On Crate & Barrel's website, I found these huge sphere planters. Obviously, these aren't the same exact size. Those were great big planters, and these are small, little, round candle holders. But it just inspired me, so you don't even have to dupe the same items, just get really inspired. I found these two different size, I want to call them fishbowl, but I know they're just round, candlestick holders or containers, glassware from the Dollar Tree, but I picked two different sizes. Now the large one was $3 in the plus section, but the smaller one was just $1.25, and I painted them black. Now as many times as I have decorated with these, I don't think I've ever painted one of them black, and I just loved how it came off on the website. It looks so sleek against the green. I'm also pairing this with one of those large leaf trays that everybody's been sharing all spring, but I just didn't know a way to use it, so I thought this would be perfect. It kind of houses both of these little candle holders together, and then I can turn them into planters. So I filled them with the rocks out of my crafting stash. If you wanted to, you could fill the bottoms with gravel and just put the decorative rocks on top. That would save a few dollars. And then just put in any plants that you like. I went with some succulents and something that you can alter to look more like yours, but just love the end result. Alright, on my channel I have made several little projects where I needed like a cloche, whether the Dollar Tree sold the little plastic ones or making a nicer one. On the website you can see that these are a lot more pricey. So before I buy something expensive that I'm risking my kids breaking, I always like to be able to DIY it for myself. So using a couple of the largest containers from Dollar Tree, the largest one's $5, the smaller one's $3, or you can make some smaller versions out of the cheaper $1.25 glassware. But I am just taking a couple of knobs. I picked up this set from the dollar store, I think it was Dollar General, and then painting them gold just with some acrylic paint, or you could use some rub and buff, and then gluing them directly to the top. Now I'm not going to be picking this up by the handles. These are just for decorative purposes only, but you can set these over like anything, a small plant, a candle, and it just elevates the space so much. I love adding large glass pieces like this. It definitely gives it more of a high-end look. Alright, I found these really fun bowls at the Dollar Tree. I just love the gray pattern on there. And you guys were asking me about these candlestick holders. These glass ones came from the Dollar Tree. I've just been finding so many different styles from the Dollar Tree. And I actually recently just put out a candlestick video. Definitely go check that out. I'll have it linked down below. But I knew that I could create some really fun candle holders inside of these decorative bowls. We're always worried about taking cheap plastic planters or something and trying to decorate them or paint paint them to look high-end, but the honest truth is whenever you find a gorgeous piece at Dollar Tree, like, use it to the full potential. So using these bowls with the gray fun design on them, I glued down the glass candle holders, popped in some of these emergency LED candles, and you can actually glue down the base but still be able to remove the top, remove the batteries, or replace them. I added in some marbles, and then just to get these to kind of nestle together a little bit more, I put one of them on these mini little spice bowls, and they set like really nice together. You could put it on both of them, but I ended up just liking it on one, and that way I felt like they looked better displayed together. I shared some bow molds that I made in the last video, and it was really fun. I wanted to create one with a vase. Now, I picked up these soap molds at Hobby Lobby. This was $3.29. You definitely can watch for sales, but I thought that was cheap enough, $3 for this huge mold, and I'll be able to make an endless amount of little bows that I can put on anything. So I love filling up these little silicone molds with hot glue. Now, Dollar Tree does put out their fair share of silicone molds, usually for seasonal items, and they'll have them for summer items for ice, and those work really great. But it's also fun to check the different craft stores and see what kind of molds they have. Now, I wanted to create a vase that looked like it was kind of paint dipped, but had this bow in the middle of it. So kind of in between the paint and the glass. So I start by doing 2 coats of white chalk paint underneath some painter's tape, and then pulled out my little bow mold, painted it pink, and then I'll just glue this right on the front. After it dried, I just removed the painter's tape and glued the bow on. These are also really great to glue on thumbtacks. I've displayed a ton of them on like bulletin boards and things, so I always try to look for fun molds for that. But go ahead, glue this right on the vase, and then I did touch it up a little bit because it's hard to hold these weird shapes and paint them. But you can also spray paint them. This hot glue holds spray paint really well. And then I picked out some fun flowers from Hobby Lobby just because I like switching up the Dollar Tree florals every once in a while. This one I went with pink and white to match the vase, but it turned out really cute. And then these are the easiest things to make. I don't know why people would spend a lot of money on them, but these textured containers or bowls that you can put random or miscellaneous things in. I just went to the baking section and picked up one of these little ceramic bowls as well as one of these larger plastic bowls. You just want the ones that have the fun texture on them. You could go with more of a solid, but I just think it adds so much to it being textured. So I go ahead, remove the labels, and then just hot glue these together, and you can go like with the same bowl if you wanted to turn one upside down, or just look for different sizes. But I thought these sizes worked perfect, especially going on the one that I found on the website. And then I wanted to paint it with this stone paint to look like the picture. So I go ahead and paint it with the gray spray paint. That way I don't have to waste much of my stone. Let this dry, and then lightly spritz over it to get that fun concrete texture. And then right now Dollar Tree has out these really fun little colorful or wooden decorative balls that look like great vase filler. Thank you all so much for checking out today's video. Another huge thank you to Drift for partnering with me on today's video. Go check out the link down below. I am seriously so excited to find non-toxic fragrances that actually smell good. You have to go try it for yourself. Remember to use code CRAFTS with a K for 55% off, making it less than $5 for your first month. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy crafting. Bye.